behalf of the Michigan Center for Civic Education, we welcome all students who are watching this video and want to thank the Honorable Judge Kameshia Gant for taking time to reveal some of her favorite tricks and tips when it comes to a virtual mock trial experience. Here with us today is the Honorable Judge Gant herself, James Liggins, and I am Ellen Zwarenstein. I currently serve as the Executive Director for the Michigan Center for Civic Education, which oversees mock trial, as well as other civic education and law-related education programs, including We the People and Project Citizen. So we'll ask that each one of you introduce yourself for just a moment, and then we'll dig into some of those virtual experiences, tips, and tricks.
Wonderful. My name is James Liggins. As you've already said, Ellen, thank you for this opportunity to have a conversation with someone that has just been a strong supporter of the mock trial, Michigan mock trial system here in Michigan, is now a judge, an actual sitting judge, but prior to that was a mock trial presiding judge for several years as well. So it's just wonderful to watch the progress and to see the evolution of who you have become, Judge Gant, and to have this opportunity to have a conversation with you today. So everyone, my name, again, I've already said, is James Liggins. I work for Warner, Norcross and Judd. I am a senior counsel here. I primarily do commercial litigation. And then my primary real job, as opposed to that job, is that I coordinate the Michigan High School mock trial program for the Michigan Center for Civic Education. And again, I'm just looking forward to this conversation, Judge Gant. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself as well?
Well, it's such a pleasure to be here with both of you. And I'm so thankful to be invited to have this opportunity to have this conversation with both of you. My name is Kameshia Gant, and I'm a circuit court judge in Oakland County. I'm serving on the family division, and I really have gotten involved with the Michigan Center for Civic Education's mock trial program probably about 6 years ago as an attorney. And I served as a scoring or a presiding judge at that time. And it was only last year that I got an opportunity to be a presiding judge, and I'm actually a judge, and that was really a great experience. I enjoy working with the students, I enjoy working with the staff, and I think the program is an excellent program. So thank you.
Wonderful. It's interesting that real life is, or rather the mock trial world is mimicking real life right now. And because of the COVID-19 epidemic, we have all, certainly my litigation practice and here in the courts that I practice in have been primarily virtual. There's certainly pockets where there's in-person, but it's primarily virtual practice. And so mimicking real life, this year, our high school mock trial tournament is all virtual. And so today, we would really appreciate a conversation with someone like yourself on really the trial procedures and the performance kind of best practices in a virtual setting, really to help the students for this season prepare for our virtual high school mock trial program that we are participating in this year. So I guess first question I have for you is really, can you talk more first before we jump into the virtual settings and best practices about your journey, your path into the law? What are some of your motivations, or were some of your motivations to pursue the law?
Oh, well, I got involved in the law, and I would say it's kind of unconventional. I went to school to be a dentist. I had a background in science, and I got a degree in psychology. And it was through my volunteer work at the Washtenaw County Jail with the women who were incarcerated with a program called the Children's Visitation Program. in addition to work experience that I obtained in college, that actually got me interested in the law. And I was kind of hesitant to change my major, but I really had to follow my heart. I've always had an interest in helping others, and I really wanted to help people navigate through the complex legal system. And I wanted to give them a pathway to justice. And I thought, what better way to do that than to be, an attorney, a defense attorney on the front lines. So I decided to pursue a legal career after I graduated from college. I went to college after I went to law school. And when I went to law school, I gained experience in the law in different aspects of the judicial system. So I worked as a probation officer with the Michigan Department of Corrections for a number of years. And I was a judicial court clerk at the Oakland County Circuit Court, where I'm now a judge. And I actually clerked for one of my colleagues. And I also served as a judicial intern at the U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of Michigan. So after I graduated from law school, I started working with students of all age groups, teaching them about the legal system through a program at Neighborhood Legal Services Children's Justice Center. And then I practiced. I had my own practice for 13 years. And that kind of led me into a judgeship. I ran for judge in 16, ran for judge in 18, and I lost twice. And to show you how hard work and determination actually pays off, after my second loss, a couple months after that happened, I ended up getting appointed to the bench by Governor Gretchen Whitmer. And I did retain my seat in the last presidential election. So I'll be able to serve the citizens of Oakland County until my next election cycle and ask for their vote again. So it's been a very interesting and rewarding journey for me.
And prior to being a judge, you said you had a successful practice. What did you primarily practice? What types of law did you practice?
I was a criminal defense attorney. I did some family law, and I also did a lot of juvenile work. So I worked as a GAL for on the behalf of children, or I represented parents. So it was primarily criminal cases, divorces, custody, child support, and I did juvenile delinquency cases or the abuse and neglect cases. So that was the main areas. And I did some civil work as well. So it was kind of like a jack of all trades, but there were some areas that I primarily practiced, and it was more than others.
Excellent. So moving to the concept of practicing virtually, having a virtual courtroom from time to time, can you give us an idea as to what you see as kind of a surprise or a silver lining around the idea of having going virtual with respect to court proceedings?
Sure. The pandemic hit, and when the pandemic hit, it forced courts to go virtual and to hold the hearings by Zoom. And I would say from that, the silver lining or the surprising thing is that it made me more efficient as a jurist. The pandemic caused judges and their staff to be innovative and creative with the resources that were available to them. So I found ways to streamline services and to make it easier for the public to have access to justice. And, from that, my staff and I actually became more efficient. So I actually can do more on Zoom than I did in the courtroom.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because as a practitioner, I've now found that instead of having to jump on the road for an hour and a half or 2 hours to get to a hearing, I have more time now to focus on a case or to focus on other things before actually having to appear at a hearing. So I can understand that there's probably some similarities with respect to efficiencies in the court system for judges as well. So I can appreciate that. We said earlier that you participated in high school mock trial as a scoring judge and then as presiding judge. So you've got a lot of experience. You know that we've got, normally the way it's set up is that there are 3 attorneys that participate, student attorneys, and there are 3 witnesses. So I guess let's kind of break that up. And if you could give us your top 3 best practices you think that the student attorneys should consider with respect to a virtual performance.
Well, I would say my top 3 tips for the attorneys would be to take your time and speak clearly. The second would be to be confident. And the third is to be cognizant of your facial expressions, especially on Zoom, because Zoom shows everything. So when I'm holding Zoom hearings, I find that when I was in the courtroom, I couldn't really see everyone's expressions or hear what they were saying, if they were whispering or talking under their breath. Now on Zoom, the facial expressions are magnified and I can hear everything. So be cognizant of your facial expressions. And because of the new video that went viral just recently with the attorney that had the cat filter, I'm going to have to warn everybody to be cognizant of your filters and to test your technology before you get on the Zoom hearing. That's my best tips for the attorneys.
You make a good point, and I guess I want to ask this question to you, Judge, that we haven't practiced this question, right? You brought up the cat filter, and so I want to ask you, sometimes unexpected technology issues come up. How should those attorneys approach a situation where they don't expect it? They did their checks before and it just happened. How do they handle that?
And they don't have an assistant to take off the cat filter in order to proceed with the trial.
Yeah, but I mean, this could very well happen. If something technology-wise occurs, how do they handle that in such a way that would impress the scoring judges?
Well, stay calm. And, the thing is that unexpected things happen all the time. And so you just remain calm. There's been many times that attorneys have been trying a case in front of me or evidentiary hearing or arguing a motion and something goes awry, their screen freezes, or they get dropped off of the call, or someone enters the room, a pet barks, a siren or ambulance goes by. You kind of just roll with the punches and stay calm. And you keep going and act as if it doesn't even affect you. And if in a real life courtroom when something like that happens, you get a jurist like me, which everyone, judges we're expected to have a certain temperament, and your temperament is that you're to be compassionate and patient, and and to keep a kind of sense of humor. So when something like that happens, you don't get upset, you don't get impatient, you kind of wait it out and help the person along with whatever challenges arise. So my staff is always willing to jump in and help someone troubleshoot, and so am I. And so with this mock trial that's coming up, the students stay calm and understand that we understand that things like this happen. So don't make a big deal out of it.
Right. And I agree with you. Poise under pressure is always impressive. So if someone can stay poised, pressure through it, it sounds to me like what you're saying is that's the way to handle something, not to get too worked up, and to understand that we have a lot of grace on the judging and scoring side as well, because this is new to everybody, right?
Well, absolutely. You have to be flexible.
All right. So you gave us your top 3 points, and we kind of added a 4th point for attorneys. What about witnesses?
All right. So for witnesses, I would say the top three tips for the witnesses would be to listen and only answer the question that's asked. 2, speak loud enough so that everyone can hear you. And 3, if you don't understand the question, ask the attorney to repeat it or to clarify it.
Excellent, excellent. You've we've alluded to how supportive you've been to Michigan Center for Civic Education and mock trial throughout your career. I guess, could you tell us why? Why are you so good to us? Why do you support this program so much?
Well, I support the program so much because it's my duty, to be involved and to help the young people achieve whatever it is that they want to achieve in life. And so this program is a great program. It helps the students develop skills that they can use in any profession. And it also introduces them to the judicial branch of our government. And so I am always willing and available to help out with any endeavor that deals with, students in their education. But, as a judge, I'm automatically a public servant, but I also have always been a humanitarian. And so even as a young kid, I've always gotten involved in various organizations or various causes. And so I've always had an overwhelming desire to help other people and to just make the place that I live, a better place. So, volunteering your time is one of the most selfless acts that one, can do. And volunteering your time also gives you an opportunity to become involved in your community, to stay connected with your community, and also it also gives you an opportunity to make your community better. So we should all volunteer. I always quote what Martin Luther King Jr. said. And he said, everybody can be great because anybody can serve. And you just need a heart full of grace and a soul generated by love. So I encourage everybody to volunteer their time.
Wonderful, wonderful. So now we're getting to this next wonderful section here. Well, I don't know if I've ever been able to ask or do a rapid fire question and answer session with a sitting judge before. So I'm actually excited to hear your questions, but we're going to ask you a few kind of rapid fire questions just to kind of get your off the cuff answers to some questions with the idea of helping people understand that you're human just like everybody else. So here, with that in mind, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. All right. What is your favorite color?
Red, of course.
Yeah, you're wearing red.
I wore it for you today.
All right. What's your favorite coffee shop beverage?
Well, since I don't drink coffee, I don't like coffee. I've never drank coffee. It would have to be hot chocolate.
Okay. All right. I'm down. What is your favorite ice cream?
Ben and Jerry's Chunky Monkey, but I always pick out the walnuts.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'll go with that. What is your favorite book?
It's a book called Small Great Things. It's by Jodi Picoult. It's yeah.
By Jodi Picoult. Is
yes.
that the book, the last book that you read?
Ooh.
The last book that I read, I'm actually working on a book right now, a couple different books, Becoming, and so I'm the type of person that reads multiple books at the same time. And so if something's kind of not interesting, I put it down and then I pick up another book. So that's the one I'm getting through right now because I saw the documentary and then I saw her in person. I saw Michelle Obama in person.
Oh, wonderful. I'm actually reading President Obama's most recent book right now myself. Another question for you though, audio or actually written, actual book reading? Is it audio tapes or are you actually a book turner, a page turner?
I'm a page turner. I'm old school. I'm very old school, young but old school. I like paper calendars. I just would rather hold on to a book and turn the pages, and I love the smell of library books.
Oh, I agree with that. I absolutely agree. So how about one of your favorite sayings or quotes?
It would be another MLK quote. It's let's see. We must accept finite disappointment, but we must never lose infinite hope.
Wonderful quote. Okay. Can you give us, a quick synopsis of one of your most memorable cases, whether as an attorney or as a judge?
Okay, so as an attorney, my most memorable case, and it's because I represented him several times, was a young adult. It's a criminal case, and I represented a young man, and he actually had the mental capacity that was determined to be that of a preschooler. And so I represented him for a number of years. And so I was very grateful that prior to me being appointed to the bench, that I was able to get him into a position where he was in a group home, and he had a GAL to help him. So,
and for those of us who don't know what GAL stands for, what does it stand for?
It's a guardian ad litem. And it's someone, who assists you and helps you and looks out for your interests. So he was in a better place before I transitioned to the bench. So it was that case was very moving for me. The reason why is because he was 17, 18. So he was kind of like teetering on adulthood, and he was, obviously in an adult system. He didn't have the mental capacity to understand. And he didn't have his parents were not around and available. And so he was passed off to different places and kind of got himself into different situations. Mostly, I think, because people didn't understand, his unique situation. So he taught me a lot about people, and he taught me a lot about humanity and fighting for, the voiceless, because he was unable to articulate for himself. So it taught me a lot. As an attorney, I grew a lot, from representing him. And so I think he made me a better person.
And it sounds like you become a better judicial or judge because you've had that experience of those who cannot advocate for themselves, huh?
Oh, absolutely. I all of my experiences, all of my clients helped me become a better judge. My former clients, they taught me, how to, think quick on my feet, to be flexible, to be compassionate, to be, to listen, to have patience. So it was actually a learning experience and building up for me to get on the bench. And so now that I'm on the bench, and it's from a different perspective, I don't represent clients anymore, but I see a number of different types of cases in the family division. And my most favorite are the adoptions, because I get to preside over adoption cases. And I also get to do name changes. So people are very happy, when they get to choose their name, or when they get to have another family member, become a part of their life. So that's rewarding for me too.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, we're almost done with rapid fire. What is your favorite season of the year?
Summer. I'm a summer baby. My birthday's in the summer.
Okay. And then finally, okay, if you had your choice of superpower, what would it be?
Well, I love Wonder Woman, but I would read minds.
Read minds. Oh, I like that one. I like that one. Excellent. Well, okay, you've spent your time. It's these few minutes with us, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. I guess I would like, if you don't mind, just for you to give us your final takeaway, final thought regarding mock trial, life, legal career, etc. Your final thoughts that you'd like us to end this on. The final words would be yours, Judge Gant.
Well, I want the students to enjoy this process and want you to understand that whether you intend to pursue a career in law or not, that the skills that you're developing participating in the mock trial program are going to translate and be valuable to you in any profession that you choose for years to come. And so I wish you all the luck in this competition. And in general, I would say find something that you love and work really hard to do the best job that you can. And then that's your purpose in life.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much for taking your time today and speaking with us. And I look forward to working with you. I can't remember, I think it's Oakland that you have signed up for, and maybe other regionals, but I'm sure that we'll be seeing each other throughout the mock trial regionals this year and the finals as well. Thank you so much
Absolutely.
again. And Ellen, any final words before we're over?
Again, our deepest appreciation for your time, and it is evident that through your career, through your journey, that you are indeed you're acting with a heart full of grace and a soul generated by love. And thank you for sharing that with us at MCCE and with everyone that you interact with. Thank you.
Oh, well, thank you. It's such a pleasure. Thank you.